Hello everybody, I'm like 90% sure that this is the first clip in this thing, so welcome. Today we have a assortment of things for this collective clip. I got a Right Stuff package, but I ended up opening it because I was sad and I needed the serotonin from opening it. So we'll like retroactively unbox, or not unbox, but you know, like discuss the things I got, as well as like eBay, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. purchases. So let's get into it. So the first thing I got in my package, it was a Valentine's Day sale. So I got a lot of like romance girly things. So we do have Fruits Basket, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I mostly got these to fill up the order for the main reason why I was purchasing, which we will get into. I'm gonna stack them this way. Okay. So the main reason why I ordered on Right Stuff that day is because I wanted to get into a sign of affection. So I bought the first volume as a thing to reach me to the free shipping point in another package in the previous installment, but I ended up reading it and like I liked it, but I wasn't sure if I liked it enough to order the entire set. So I ended up getting volume 2, which I kind of regret. Like I wish I bought the rest of them, because after I finished the first volume I was thinking about it and I was like, ah, it's so good. So we do have volume 2. I will be reading this immediately. The only thing that's sad is it's kind of dented, but it'll be all good. I just love the art style, and I find that their relationship is so like soft, and I really enjoy that. I'm probably gonna buy the rest of them at Barnes & Noble soon, after I read this one. And the last thing I got from that Right Stuff package was I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is just this one chunky little book. And one thing I didn't realize, I saw it in Barnes & Noble one day and I realized it's small. I don't know. I expected it to be bigger since it's like omnibus type. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this one as well. I've heard good things, so. And then everything else is assorted. I'll go with like series. So I'm gonna start with this one, which is Chibi Vampire Volume 14. I spoke about this in my last one. I got this off of eBay. I'm not even gonna open it because this is the last volume, so that's like ultimate spoilers. But I haven't had as much of a hard time collecting this as I thought I would. I'm only missing a couple, so that's cool. Next we have something I'm so excited about, and that is Nana Volume 1 and Nana Volume 21. Both of these are the first reprints with the reprint. These are the first ones for it. And I got this one at Barnes & Noble on a whim. Like I went there not thinking about it and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I recently watched the anime, which I speak about in another video, and I adore the series. So I'm so excited to like be in love with the series right as they started to reprint. Then we have Volume 21, which is the last one that they made before the hiatus. And I'm gonna be trying to get the rest of them. I know that 3, 4, and 5 are back in stock, but not 2, which is odd. I think I missed 2. Speaking of 2, we have Dr. Stone Volume 2. And we also have, again, Dr. Stone Volume 20, the most recent one. The manga is finished in Japan, which is like making me want to hurry up with collecting. So the story behind Dr. Stone is that I watched the anime, of course, decided I loved the series, so I wanted to collect it. I was gonna collect from where the anime ended forward, which is like volume 10. But like volume 11 and 12 have been out of stock for a really long time, because I'm sure everyone had the same idea as me. it's in a it's like bottlenecking a Right Stuff package, but I think volume 12 will be in stock soon, so hopefully we can get that for the next clip. But I've gotten impatient and started just buying things, so we have volume 2 and volume 20. I bought both of these at like miscellaneous bookstores. I bought this one in the Kinokuniya when I went to New York, and then I bought this one at a local comic bookstore. And the last thing that we're talking about is Boys Are on a Riot. So this is another first volume of something I haven't read yet. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm super intrigued. And I will likely be talking about my first impressions. Let's not get too ahead of if I do, then you'll see it. If I don't, then you won't see it. But yeah. I love fashion, so. Okay, that is the end of this first clip, and I will see you again. Hello everybody, this is the final installment of opening packages. I wanted to include one more haul for this, so here we are. I have 3 miscellaneous, 3 miscellaneous packages, because I'm on a new mission, and you will see as we open. I guess we'll start with these 2 because they came earlier in the week. First, we have Sergeant Frog volume 17 in like halfway decent. Like, this could be better. It feels very light compared to some of the other volumes I have. But yeah, I have like, I think I'm missing only 2 more volumes. I don't know which ones they are, but I know I'm missing like 2 more. So this was something I really wanted to pick up. My new goal is to like finish some of the like Tokyo Pop or like older collections I've started or like have had. This is another one of those. So we have Chibi Vampire volume 7, which again, like, not bad condition. She's a little bent, but like I feel like that is manageable if I stack it hard enough, and also like when it's in the shelf it'll be squished enough, so like I'm not too mad about that. Ooh, this one might be the worst one of the set. The volume 11 of Chibi Vampire. It looks really nasty done. Like, this looks nasty, but at least it's the bottom and not the top. Yeah, we can look past that, I think. It's just that it's like bent inwards, I guess. But yeah, you'll hear more about this series. I am very, very excited to keep getting some more. I think I'm missing 3 now. Again, I don't remember which ones, but I know I'm missing like 3 of them. And then the last thing I'm gonna include is, I've been on a like fan art buying craze lately. I don't know what has possessed me to like become an endorser of small businesses. Hit me up if you have a small business, because I love supporting y'all. But anyways, so I bought, oh, it doesn't, oh, yes it does. Okay, I bought, and they wrote me a note that says, thank you so much for the support. I always got you guys. I bought these enamel pins of Sailor Pluto and Sailor Chibi Moon. That's the user. And I bought 2 stickers as well. I got Jupiter and Usagi, or Moon herself, the title character. Yeah, I'll take this off real quick so you can see. That is the user. Lily Naban. I thought it was Lil Nina Bun. TBH. I don't know how to read, but yeah, these are super cute and super like nice. I'm gonna start collecting enamel pins. I like I like starting things and that I can't finish, so yes. Hello everybody, I'm here to discuss the first installment of my reading log for the few months. And today I'm going to be discussing Welcome to the NHK, which is this series right here. I want to say that I feel like the series is extremely underrated. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Needless to say, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and like I'm so thankful that I have it, and like I feel like this is going to get a lot of use on my shelf particularly. So I will give you the general synopsis. Basically, oh my god, Homeboy is not even on the... Okay, this guy. It's mostly about this guy. I believe that's my boy. His name is Sato, and he is a hikikomori, which is basically like a shut-in. They don't leave their house and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure he dropped out of college, and he's just bumming around. And he kind of has this weird conspiracy theory that he thinks the NHK, which is like a company, like a broadcasting company in Japan, NHK, kind of like NBC, I guess, for us, like, I mean, as Americans. So NHK, he thinks that they're like a giant conglomerate, like conspiring against society or something. He's kind of like chronically online, so he has weird takes like that. And then this girl like randomly shows up and is like his angel and is gonna save him from like being a hikikomori, and basically just chaos ensues after that. He lives with this guy who's kind of also like a weirdo, and they just get into some really weird situations, and that's basically the premise. I feel like this series is kind of like a male parallel to Nana. Like, I think Nana is a really good series to watch as a like young adult entering society. I think that this is like the same thing, but like the male equivalent. Like, if Nana's for the ladies, then this is for the boys. But obviously, like, if you are any gender, you can appreciate both series. But I think that this gives me the same energy as Nana, and that's why I think I like it so much. The main trio have a lot of issues. This girl is extremely manipulative. She goes with the whole angel thing because it fuels her ego, kind of like it makes her feel good. This guy has big incel. Both of them have big incel energy, but I feel like this guy in general, especially has incel energy. And then this guy, he's a mess. And I think that the fact that these characters are just so flawed makes it so much more interesting, because why would I want to read a series about, like, this girl who's actually, like, the most wonderful person ever? You know what I mean? Like, that's not interesting. And I think a lot of people critique bad, like, characters who do bad things, but that is the entertainment in it. If a character does all good things, then what is there? You know? But another thing I really enjoy is that, so Sato, he like sees a lot of his high school friends, and like he kind of reflects on how he fell, you know, like he was pretty good in school, he had friends and stuff, and then, you know, now he's a shut-in, like kind of a loser, doesn't do anything with his life. And he sees throughout like friends that he meets and sees where they ended up, because as somebody who did graduate from high school like quite a while ago, 4 years now, that's kind of a long time. High school's 4 years. But yeah, so some of the things that he sees his friends have done is just so funny. Like, there's this particular chapter, I think it's like around 3 or 4, where one of his friends is like in a pyramid scheme now and tries to recruit him, and like that's so funny to me. Like, I know so many people who are in like pyramid schemes and things of that nature. Like, I don't know if it's just like my region, but there's this thing called Forex, and everybody was doing Forex, and it's like the same energy. Like, it's just so funny and so like kind of relatable. But one thing I did notice is that near the end, when I was reading, I don't know if it's because I missed some things, but there was like an Evangelion reference at the end. So I'm really curious to know if there's more anime references that I missed, which I wouldn't be surprised, which makes me want to reread it. So, like I said, I feel like this is gonna have big readable value to me because of how interesting it is. And I should have said this at the beginning, but there are big trigger warnings for a lot of things. First off, it is, it has the sticker of explicit content. So if you are not 18 plus, you shouldn't read it. But I will say that like I said, the boys have big incel energy. So I would say trigger warning on incel behavior if you can't, like, stomach men being disrespectful to women. That is, I wouldn't say it's a big thing, but like, they say things where I'm like, I would not say that in today's society. Things like that, as well as like depression and suicide and drug overdose. Those things are pretty, there are scenes that deal with a lot of those things, especially like at the end of the day, this guy is like really depressed. Like, I feel like that is a big like cause of hikikomori culture. I don't know like what the word would be, like, that turns people into that. So yes, another thing I want to say is that if you watch my last manga video, so what happened was I bought this one from like a half price books a long time ago, and I read it and I decided I loved it, so I wanted to get the rest of the series. And I bought the rest of the series on Right Stuff, like I think it was on sale. And these ones are white paper, and that makes me uncomfortable. Like, my reading experience, like these, okay, I shouldn't use the last volume as my example, but like the pages just look more bright than this one, obviously because it's white. I don't know if I want to replace my first volume to match the rest of them, but anyways. Oh, another thing is that in this one, the first page is colored, but in these ones, they're not. And you can tell that they were probably supposed to be colored. But yeah, this is, and welcome to the NHK. There is an anime. I'm not sure about how the anime is, so I can't like fully recommend it. But I would really, if you are a young adult, I would honestly suggest checking this one out. Whether in the anime or manga form, I think it's really worth anyone's time. Okay, welcome to the second half of the reading log for this month's. We will be discussing, this is your preview of what we will be discussing. I kind of like the format I do where like I film, like if I finish a series, it gets its own clip, and then otherwise everything else gets thrown into like a roundup. I think that's a really good system. So we're going to continue that. And we will start with the new edition, I guess, which is A Sign of Affection. I read volumes 1 through 4, which are all the ones that are out right now. We're still waiting. Number 5 comes out at the end of June. As of right now, that's what it says. So, yes. I originally picked up volume 1 in a Right Stuff package because I needed to hit the free shipping mark, and I thought the art looked really cute on the cover. And the concept sounded like, there's not much that could go wrong, so I ended up picking it up, and like, I was pretty right. Nothing went wrong. I ended up reading the first volume because I wanted to see if I would enjoy it enough to buy more, because Right Stuff was having a like Valentine's Day sale. So I read the first volume, I decided I liked it, so I picked up volume 2. And then after I read the first one, I was like, damn, I like really enjoyed it more than I thought. Like, I only bought volume 2 in the Right Stuff package because I was like, oh, I liked it, so let's try volume 2, but I don't know if I liked it like to get 3, 4, on and on. But after reading volume 2, I decided I needed the other one, so I went to Barnes & Noble and got these ones, which kind of explains why this one's a bit busted. This was the only one that was left on the shelf. And like Barnes & Noble's kind of a bop for me, so like if I'm gonna go there, I might as well just pick up everything I want, you know what I mean? So anyways, now my general thoughts. Well, I guess I'll give you the short synopsis if you are not aware of what it is about. Basically, our girl Yuki, it's set in a college time. Everyone are college students, so she attends university and she's deaf. But this guy, he is like kind of like an international guy, like he speaks a lot of languages and stuff. So like I guess somebody on the train went to her and tried to speak with her in like English or something, and then he came in and was like blah 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 blah, and so that's how they like met. And he's interested in her because like the idea of her speaking sign language is really interesting to him, because that's not a language that he like knows or is like has any experience with, and she's enthralled by him. So it's a romance between these two characters, and you see it blossom, I think around like, well, I don't know if it's spoilers, but they date, and they date pretty early on. I feel like some other romances take a really long time to date, but as of like now they're dating, which is cool. Another thing I enjoy is that there's like a lot of different friends that they have. Like she has her friends, she has a childhood friend that also knows sign language, and then she has a friend in college, and he has a couple friends, and like all the friends mingle, and like there's slight conflicts with the like minor characters that seem like they're going to be taken into an interesting direction. I will say that like I hope the 5th volume has some like interesting stuff go down. I know that the 4th volume ended in a cliffhanger that I'm interested in, but in long term, I don't know how long we can go with this series, because it is very like fluffy and light and like very happy, but like I don't know, I can't stomach happiness for that long. So I'm curious to see how it goes. This is the first time I've like read a series and like I'm kind of caught up with it while it's still releasing. Like nobody knows what's gonna happen at the end, if that makes sense. So like this is new and exciting for me. I'm not gonna read scans because I'll talk about scans later. I feel like they kind of ruin things, so I'm like resisting the urge to like read past volume 4 before the release, but I will definitely be there when volume 5 gets released. I read that the mangaka was like pregnant, and so she went on like a, you know, like a maternity leave, so the manga went on hiatus, which like I totally respect and that's super valid. So I'm excited to see where we go. But that is a sign of affection. I really recommend it, and the spines look so cute. I love the color gradient, so it's gonna look really nice when they have more. Hopefully it doesn't go for too long though, because I don't know what else they're gonna talk about, but so far it's so good. Next we have something I spoke about last time, which is Chibi Vampire. I actually had talked about the first 2 last time, but I feel like the frame looks nicer when there's more. So I ended up reading 3 and 4. I've been taking it kind of slow because I don't have all of them. I have gaps, but like you just saw, I bought 7, so I have 5, 6, and 7 I can read. 8 seems like it's gonna be hard, and I don't remember anything after that. Anyways, let's talk about it. I'm gonna keep it short since I spoke about it last month, and like once I finish it, then I'll like give you more detailed thoughts, or like if I get to an interesting point, then I'll give you more interesting thoughts. But I read 3 and 4. Again, it's still as fun of a read as it was the first 2 volumes, and I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. It's more on the like comedy side versus like a sign of affection. I feel like everything I'm going to talk about is like different. I don't know. This one is more comedy based, and this one is more just like pure sugary romance. But you're starting to see more about like her family dynamics. Like we get to see more of Ren, her brother. And yeah. See, it's interesting because like we're in volume 4 of A Sign of Affection and they're dating, but they're not dating yet in Chibi Vampire volume 4. But we do have 10 more to go, so they'll date eventually. And then the last thing I have, which I don't have the manga for. So I don't know what to put on. I'll put a picture of it so you have some sort of visual to go with what I'm saying. But I originally watched the first season of My Dress Up Darling because it was airing. And, you know, I just really liked it, you know? So then I ended up reading, like, literally the night I watched the season finale, I laid in bed and read all the scans from, like, I don't know which, I think it was, like, chapter 40 something, 50 something. I read from there until, like, the most recent, like, I think it's chapter 74 is the most recent. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts, clearly. Like, I became really attached to it very quickly, so, like, I have a lot of opinions on it. The general synopsis, we follow the male protagonist. His name's Gojo. He is, like, the son of, like, a doll making business, and, you know, he's super passionate about that craft, and, like, he really enjoys looking at the dolls, making the dolls, everything that pertains to them. But when he was younger, this, like, childhood friend of his, like, basically shitted on his dreams and was like, oh, like, dolls are for girls, like, why do you even like it, blah blah blah. So that kind of, like, left a bit of trauma for him, so now he's super insecure about talking about his passions, until he comes across his classmate Marin, who's, like, she's, like, a garu, and, like, she's super, like, popular and, like, different than him in terms of, like, personas. So she's in the, like, craft room, the sewing room, and it turns out that she's, like, an otaku, and she's trying to make a cosplay because that's what she wants to do, but her cosplay looks like shit, and he's like, bro, like, who did this? You got a whole manual and you don't know how to sew? Like, come on. And he was like, oh, like, I actually know how to sew because I make, like, clothes for my dolls and stuff like that. So then they become, like, a duo where she cosplays and then he makes the costumes for her, and it's great. There's a lot of, like, ecchi scenes when it comes to, like, measuring her and, like, dressing her up and things like that. Like, they have a lot of, like, awkward, sensual interactions, and I think the anime, like, kind of sensationalizes those scenes. And for me personally, I can look past it, but I totally understand if people find that a bit uncomfortable. But I will say, like, I don't know if it's just the scans I read, but I feel like the manga has a bit toned down compared to the anime, because there were some points where I was like, all right, this is not necessary. Can we focus on the cuteness, because I'm not trying to see all this. But yeah, I really do enjoy a good, like, loud girl, quiet boy dynamic. I feel like that mirrors the dynamic I experience in my life, because I'm, like, I wouldn't say I'm a loud girl, but, you know, like, I'm really talkative and, like, hyper. So, like, I can relate. I feel like I can see myself in Marin, and I like to find partners that are more docile than me. So I like these types of dynamics in my romance. And unlike a lot of, like, series of this genre, I feel like Gojo is an actually interesting male protagonist. Like, there's another series of the same subgenre that is currently airing that I don't particularly enjoy because I feel like the main guy is boring. And, you know, it'd be like that. I know that they make the mains boring because it's supposed to help you, like, put yourself in that position. But, like, as a female, like, as a viewer that enjoys men, I like to put myself in the girl's shoes rather than the boy's shoes. So, if the boy's not interesting, then I'm not interested. But, yes. So, to talk about the manga aspect, like, from what I read, I will say that there's a specific arc that really solidified this as a good series to me. And it's the arc where they do, like, the school festival. And I feel like it was so, like, heartwarming to see Gojo, like, make the costume, and, like, everyone in the class genuinely respect him, because, you know, like, he had all that trauma with the girl telling him, like, oh, this is stupid that you like this because it's for girls, blah blah blah, and then to see all his classmates be completely supportive of him and think that he's like the shit for being able to do that. I just like the way that like a lot of the conflicts in the show are very like user or like self-based instead of like actual conflicts. Because you know, like with anxiety, like you always think the worst but then it turns out good. I feel like that is the premise of a lot of the conflicts in the show, and I really enjoy that because it's really relatable. Like that happens to me a lot, so it's really comforting to see things go good for him. Yeah, I love him. Like I think he's a really good character. I actually really thoroughly enjoy Gojo, and I love Marin, and I love everyone in the show. And again, I love the like slow burn between Gojo and Marin. I don't know how long I can take it. Again, comparing it to the other romances we have, I'm on volume 4 of both of them. I would say, I don't know, maybe like volume 6 or 7 my Dress Up Darling is at. They're dating in this one. They're not dating yet here, but I think they're gonna start developing romance in a few chapters. I mean volumes, but. And they're like, they haven't even confessed. Maybe these two are gonna be, you know, these two are similar. Like, My Dress Up Darling and Chibi Vampire are similar because they're like more comedy based. So you know what? I enjoy a good slow burn. At least after 14 volumes, they do eventually get together. So I'm gonna give My Dress Up Darling more time. They're gonna get together, hopefully. I hope, like, I hate when they get together at the very end. Like, you know in Toradora when like, I feel like they confess and we don't even get to see them like date. Maybe that's only the anime, but like, it annoys me. I want to see them date and like enjoy their love for each other before it ends. But that's probably my only like critique of the series so far. But I love it so much and I'm so excited. Scans, you know, like I haven't kept up with it until very, very recently, but I go into the comments of the scans and everyone's like, oh, like, I'll see you guys in 3 years for the next chapter. And I'm like, no, that's not okay, guys. We can't joke about that. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. I need it like now. But anyways, last thing I wanted to say about My Dress Up Darling is that I did originally buy the volumes, but then I ended up canceling the order because I had already read the scans and I felt like there was no point in collecting it physically. So we'll see how it goes. I might pick it up later because at the end of the day, like, because of how popular the series has gotten, I feel like it's gonna be hard. Like, they're gonna be out of stock anyways. I wouldn't have gotten that order anyways. I might as well get my money back and then buy it later when the series is like printed more like consistently, or like when the prints catch up with like heightened popularity. But yeah, that is everything I want to say. I feel like I spoke really fast and I'm so sorry for anyone who could not keep up, but I just really like My Dress Up Darling, and I've been on like a romance kick. So like, if you have any recommendations that you feel like fit these 3, let me know, because I'm so down. I feel like I don't have that many that I know. So like, if you recommend me something, there's a chance that I probably haven't checked it out. But yes.